I'm glad you're back. This is the gaming channel of laughing, learning, absurdity, and skill building. You know, speaking of skill building, this game, absurdly, has a skill building feature that involves taking tests.
Oh, so we're going to learn valuable skills, Glenn?
We're going to learn valuable
like
skills.
Or something?
Yeah, like whether a level 10 adamantoise will drop adamantine or not. Right.
Oh, sure.
Really, really important life skills that we're going to take with us. But in game, it kind of mirrors what we would want. So I'm an assessment expert. I have my PhD is in educational assessment. So this idea of being tested periodically on your professional skills to make sure you are reaccessing them.
Oh God, this is going to be brutal, isn't it, Glenn?
This is going to be brutal. Okay, so what this episode is I recorded about half an hour of me taking the first 10 levels of seed tests. And that's it. That's all we're doing today. And I invited Chris, of course, to help comment on This is so absurd. Let's just get started. Why don't you hit the button and let's go to town. Oh, it's not working for me. Hold on. We gotta sync. Sorry. Oh, now it's working. Never mind.
You good?
I think we're good. I'm watching the entry video.
Oh, I stopped it though.
You stopped it? Okay. Then we're not synced.
Okay.
See, folks who are watching, this is all about skill building. Oh no. I hit the wrong one. YouTube with friends. Human joined the party. Am I human?
I don't know. It always gives like random names. Sometimes it calls me like dog.
Okay. Why don't you try hitting start and let's see. Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Good?
Everything's good. We're playing.
So we've been talking a lot about child soldiers so far in the game. We're going to go back to high school. We're going to put the child back in child soldier for this episode.
And if you were building an elite team, an elite mercenary force of child soldiers, Chris, would you rely heavily on true-false questions?
Yeah, so I mean, I was a professor for 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
and you are now as learned as anyone can get in assessment.
Yep.
Yep. I feel like we're pretty well equipped for handling how this is going to go. Oh, that's right. You could just do it wherever.
Yeah, you can do it wherever you want. Wherever you want.
That's fun. You don't have to go back to your desk or whatever.
No. And I will say that there is some. I was just exploring here, just to see what else is around. I was looking for the battle gauge, which I never found. I still don't know where it is. The thing that Sid gives you earlier in the game.
Yes.
I was like, "Where's the battle gauge? What is that?" And I don't know where it is. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know.
No. So in that previous menu, we could see that I'm currently seed level 7, and for each one of these true-false quizzes I ace, I get to go up 1 seed level.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
How many questions are there per test?
10.
10?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Now these first ones we're going to cruise through because they are...
Yeah, they're pretty basic.
It gets really detailed, though, as you go on. And in this video, we're going to get to the one where I started to have real trouble, and then I'm going to give up. I will get frustrated. You'll see. We'll see. I passed the first one. Hey, seed level 8. The gauntlet. Get out of here.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is a guess here. Yes, that's true.
Oh man, see, okay, so that question's nasty.
Yep.
It's testing attention to detail, not so much knowledge.
Yes. Here's another one that's tricky. There's
Sorcery.
There's one that's not right, but the rest are fine.
That last question was kind of tricky. It said there's no limit. There is a limit. No, it said there is a limit.
There is a limit, and
no.
it's weird because there's a limit to how much you can draw at a time, but there's no limit to how much you can sit and farm off of them.
Oh, that's really weird.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of these, like, at least in the first couple levels, they were stuff you could just get in the first couple hours of playing the game.
Yes.
It's going to get increasingly esoteric, I think.
So the thing that I will give this in terms of pedagogy is that these assessments, when they get detailed, they make you want to go find the answer.
Oh, yeah.
And if we know that if you are curious about something and you go and you find the answer, you're more likely to retain that information.
Yeah.
So when I get stuck later on, we're going to see me start to like look up different abilities and what they do. And that helps with retention.
See, that first question was weird because I think it means in your party, but you know that to be in the fiction untrue, that like Cypher uses a gunblade. So if you take that question literally, only Squall can use a gunblade. You know that's not true.
That's right.
But a lot of these don't care about the story. They only care about mechanics. So if you set yourself in that mode of thinking about each answer, you'll do quite a bit better, if I remember correctly.
Yes. You know how we know the T-Rexar is a monster that lives in Bellam Garden?
Because you killed one, like a boss.
Oh.
So you're not like downgraded or anything. If you fail, you just don't go up.
That's correct. Level 11.
So we started at what, level 7?
Yeah.
So I think we're getting an extra 1,000 gil per level per pay period.
I think it's either 500 or 1,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's linear. I don't know if it starts scaling up at some point, but
it might be something like 5,000 plus 500 per seed level.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Something
in
like
any
that.
case, I mean, we're going to be earning a lot more money here.
Yeah.
This is not like for no reason. And it's weird because Quistis mentions this really early on in the game.
Yes.
I think the first couple times I played this game, I did not bother with this. And you get strapped for cash pretty bad. So.
Ooh. Yeah, early game you can get strapped for cash. Eventually it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But well, we learned that's not true, right?
That's right.
In that stupid boss battle on the train. Oh, God. No! No!
Can't even use
You
items.
can't even use items. Oh, God.
I can only attack. When I go to the bank without my GF junction, I just can only like beat people up.
When I go to the bank and I forget my GF. Oh my God, it killed me. So this is an interesting moment to stop and listen. The timbre music, which is what we're listening to now, is like this weird combination of jazz and muzak, and it's a little sinister. It's almost like minor key muzak.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I mean, it's supposed to invoke the sort of intrigue
Yeah,
that brought us here, right?
yeah, but with a kind of Canadian blandness. Oh, hey, want to go down to the pub and it's going to be jazz night. We're going to hear some hi-hats and some saxophone solos, but you know, it's not going to be too corny.
One rare card exists in the whole world. Just like in Magic the Gathering.
You'll notice it doesn't say per copy. So I think I failed the quiz.
So
Yeah.
oh man.
Yeah, there's...
I'm beginning to wonder if I honestly can't tell if it's a bad localization,
Right.
or they're deliberately obtuse.
Well, so
in
here's
how they're worded.
Yeah, so here's how hey, we got it. Here's how I justify it to myself. Is that basically we can be confident that these tests were written by an intern working at Squaresoft in 1998. Right? This is a 22-year-old kid who's got his first gig in the video game industry.
Right.
who is stuck with 2 weeks of making up stupid true false tests about a game that he's been playtesting. And then the localization was probably some intern at the translation firm.
Was it the junk shop question? I don't know. Well, it must have been, because that second question was also about the junk shop. Yeah, I mean, some of these questions get at one of my pet peeves about like badly written tests.
Yeah.
Where the question isn't intended to, like, as you said earlier, like, make the student curious and go find the answer and, you know, improve later.
Right.
Or to test, like, comprehension, not just, like, memory, but, like, to understand the material. It's just testing, like, attention to detail. Like, there was one question earlier that spelled Squall's limit break wrong.
What? It's Kenzo
Functionally,
Zuki.
you can know what his limit break is, and you're just like, oh, okay, so.
So the one I actually got wrong in that last one, this is a meaningful one, is you can cast slow to cancel out haste.
Oh, yeah.
Which is true in some Final Fantasy games. But it was actually false in this game. It's not true in this game.
What happens, I wonder? Nothing?
I think it goes straight from hasted to slowed.
Oh.
It doesn't bring...
So they paper each other over, but they don't neutralize each other.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, huh.
I think... I mean, apparently my memory isn't that great, but... I did this a whole 7 days ago. But I think that was the case.
It's just there's some like questions that are designed to be like trick questions. It's like your assessment shouldn't be designed to make a student fail. It should be designed for a knowledgeable student to get 100%, right?
Yeah.
I mean, not realistically, but like, that's the idea.
Yeah.
Like professors and stuff that aim to have a majority of their students fail, like the toughest exam. There are some notorious classes in college that we both went to.
Yep.
And I'm sure every college on the face of the earth. There's some notoriously difficult like science classes and stuff that like the professors would pride themselves on the fact that a majority of students would fail their class.
That's
not
helpful.
Really not good.
Who is that helping? Not the students.
Right. It's awful. It's not a good philosophy. No. It's not a good approach. No. It doesn't mean you're doing a good job. It means you're failing the students.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you're.
That's right. Your goal is to get as many.
Serving them.
Yeah, your goal
you're
is to get.
Definitely failing them.
Chris, I hate to interrupt, but this is the test we want to pay attention to this first run through here, because we're going to see these questions a few times.
No. What? I like how. Dude, what? Oh, yeah, wow.
Yeah, just cast death. Yeah.
So, one of those questions referenced level 10 adamantoids.
Mm-hmm.
At this point in the game, you might not even be aware as a player that the enemies have levels.
I think you're aware that they have levels. I think it's mentioned that they level up with you, but you've never seen an adamantoise. You won't see one of those until disc. They don't even exist on this disc.
Right. So is this one of the ones that you're just going to get like the same one wrong over and over and over again?
Well, how much time do we have left in the video? Okay, let me just spoil this. I'll just spoil this now and tell you that the rest of the video is just this test. This is
it's like I gotta clear my head. I gotta drink a potion and clear my head.
Shut up. You know what I was doing? I was trying to figure out if you can rearrange items and magic.
Oh,
during specifically for battle, because that was one of the questions.
That's good though. I mean, you're doing what the test wants you to do.
Doing what the test wants me to do.
Go find the answer. Yeah.
The thing is, without the, of course, we know the real reason these quizzes are in here. It's to get you to buy the $20
the strategy
guide. Which
because some of these questions can be answered by just play through experience, like up to this point. Some can be answered in the menu. Mm-hmm. And there's like maybe 2 or 3 in each test that can't be answered at this point. Like the adamantoise one you just mentioned. Like that thing, spoiler, is a turtle the size of an island. Like it's enormous and a small island.
Yeah.
We have not seen that yet. And we won't see it for quite a while.
Yeah.
See. Yes. I think that. Oh, okay. So I think that one's a yes. It's something else that you're getting wrong.
Well, there's a lot that I'm getting wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the adamantoise one is wrong because you could probably get adamantine from any level.
I don't know.
I mean, really, like analyzing the question more than is probably necessary.
Yeah.
But
so it's at some point here, what I did, this is probably it. I opened up a notepad and opened up next to my gameplay window, and I started typing out.
Well, yeah, what your answers are, so you don't repeat yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
Just brute force it.
I mean, if there are 4 questions you're uncertain about, you just test all the 2x2x2x2 combinations. Was it 16
Yeah.
combinations? The problem
You've already
is
taken the test like 6 times. You're
yeah, but after going through it twice, you don't remember what you might remember what you did the time before, but you're not going to remember the last 3.
You can also start psyching yourself into wrong answers in other questions if you're not really careful.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is if I know the 4 that I'm unsure of, but let's say those aren't the tough ones. What if there's one over here that I am sure of, but I'm wrong on? I can futz around with these 4 items,
Right,
and never get 100%.
See, I think that's a no. Which is weird because the answer is probably yes, but like in a literal sense, but I think it's no as far as the test is concerned, because I think any level adamantoids will probably drop adamantoids.
Oh. Oh, interesting.
That's my prediction.
That's your prediction?
But if you read the question literally,
yeah.
Does a level 10 adamantoids drop adamantium? Yes. Unless maybe it needs to be a higher level. I don't know.
I think maybe it needs to be a higher level because you would never even encounter.
When would you even run into a level?
You can't. By the time you run into one, you're already level 20, 30, or 40.
Because you're what, level like 15 right now?
15 right now.
Jesus.
Yeah. Excuse me. I know you can junction more than 1 GF.
It's not the Doom question, right?
I think you're going to see me go double check on that in just a second here.
Doom, I think, Doom's a throwback to Final Fantasy IV.
Yeah.
I think it's the first time anything like that showed up, where it sets like a countdown timer over an enemy's head, and when it times out, they die. It's like a slow death.
Is that how it works in this game, though? I
think so.
I almost think it's instantaneous, but low percentage chance.
Oh, really?
Well,
okay.
You know what? I don't know.
I don't know. We could try it later.
We should test it once I learn it.
Yeah, it's weird though, and we haven't like in the mainline playthrough, we haven't really got too much into the action abilities because you've been using magic and draw and item and GF pretty much exclusively. But later in the game, where you don't need to draw spells as much and you can refine them,
yes,
you can slot that draw slot in for things like Doom or Card or there's
once you get to the end of the game,
ones.
At the end of the game, there's some bonkers ones. Yeah.
That are more reminiscent to like some of the stuff you see in like Final Fantasy VII.
Yes.
7 had some action abilities that were like, what? They were like, I'm gonna cast a spell a bunch of times. Like,
yeah. So, speaking of Final Fantasy VII, one of the things that I really like about the quizzes here is that, and this is where I think it's a good idea to have this kind of quiz. These items help you distinguish this game from other Final Fantasy games. So, like, there's this question on this test that you can junction more than 1 GF, which is in contrast to Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah.
Where you could only junction 1 Esper.
Yeah, that's a good point. And there was another one you mentioned earlier about slow and haste canceling each other out, and that's the case in 6, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 7. I don't remember 7 as well, but it's definitely true in 6, and I think 4.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a meta like trick. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, you played all these games before. Well,
yeah, I think the poison one too, because I think in some games the poison goes off on a timer.
In some games, the poisons aren't even persistent after the combat.
Right.
They usually are, but there's a couple of games where they're not.
Yep.
It's interesting. It's almost like There's a similar phenomenon in like hiring, where over experience can be a liability. I taught business and technical writing for most of my teaching career, and other things. That was one of the classes I taught, and there was like a resume unit, and as part of that unit, we did like the whole thing. We did like cover letters and resume writing, recommendations and things like that. We also talked about like the interview process and job seeking itself. And I remember having a really interesting discussion with my class once when, I was trying to like having a ton of experience in, I think it was a really simple example. It was like, say, waitressing or something.
Yeah.
Where like if you're applying to like Applebee's and you say, hey, I have 20 years of experience as a waiter at TGI Fridays.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily going to help you. It will. It means that you know the basics of service industry job, but the Applebee's manager is like, okay, well, TGI Fridays way to do things, but that's just going to confuse you.
Yes.
You're not a blank slate that we can write our own thing on. This is more of like a corporate kind of thing. Like these big companies have like a way of doing things and a code.
Yes.
And they want a blank slate who has the capability of learning rather than somebody that's already learned another way.
Well, Chris, I think it's clear that Garden got the memo on this. All these kids are coming from all these other child soldier factories, and they want to be seeds all of a sudden. And they're like, well, no.
Listen,
we know you know how to kill.
Child soldiers, they don't need ours.
Well, I see you have 10 years of experience at Slaughter Corps, but we do things differently here at Seed.
Yeah, right. Do you think there's competing brands?
Yes,
of mercenary bands.
There have to be, right? Although I guess
I think you could. You're checking Doom. Yeah, you do have it right out of the gate.
Yep.
Which doesn't have it, but has access to learn it. I think that's the question, right?
That is the question. Yep.
Can she learn it? That's wild. I didn't realize that. Doom is weird because it's a lot of Final Fantasy games fall into this trap. It's a really cool status, or like an effect to use, but the kinds of things you would want to use it against most are immune to it categorically.
Yep.
Like bosses.
Yep, 100%.
Oh, you're getting there. Jesus, so close, Glen.
Oh my fucking god. I don't know why I left the mic on. So I was standing there. I was standing there in silence for half an hour.
And the only thing past Glen has said in this entire episode is, "Oh my fucking god." I didn't even realize you were Mike, Glen.
I don't know why I was. I kept hitting the cough bar. I have a cough button that I hold down when I clear my throat.
Yeah.
And so I had my mic on and I'm coughing. I'm like, why don't I just take my mic off? just turn it off.
I think you got it this time, Glen. I have faith in you. Also,
is that because we've looked at
the video is almost over?
The video is almost over. Well, so I will start now by saying I want to thank everyone for watching, and I want to thank Chris for being with me through this, living through this ordeal again.
See, we don't know about Shiva because she might have. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yes, I am a golden god. Holy shit.
Indeed, you are.
Indeed,
she must have got access to Doom.
I think that's it.
Because of something you already learned.
Yes. That was the problem.
We didn't know that until now.
And if you remember back, I think I got a 90 on the first time through.
Right.
Which means that was the one that I had wrong in the very first place.
You did it. Now we're what, like level 12 or something?
17.
That's crazy. Well, oh my god.
Yep.
Yikes.
All right, that's going to do it for this video, but we are going to be back with the next episode that's a full episode. Thanks, everybody.